Please welcome to the only show, Mr. Jim Andre. Jim, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you, Keon?
We are doing fantastic, man. How things up there in Massachusetts?
Pretty good. So far, so good. No complaints.
Okay, good deal, man. Good deal. Well, thank you, man, for being on the only show. Right here, you've got Nelly Nell.
What's going on?
You've got Kobeezy.
Yo, checking in.
Yeah, man. So, was looking forward to have you on the show, man. I reached out to you maybe a few weeks back, man, and just to try to hop into it, man. So, just to give a bit of background, how long have you been researching the alien UFO phenomenon?
How long have I been doing it? Since I was about 42, 43 years old. For some reason, I just, something came over me.
Okay. All right. So that's been for some years now. You've been doing this, man. So I have a lot of questions, man. We actually got some questions that people asked from Instagram too. So we're gonna get into it. So first off, let's start by, man, I want to get into your story, man. So you said that you were an alien abductee, man. So tell us about that.
What happened was, my experience was that lower right side of the monitor there, and the time was 9:15. Then all of a sudden, it's just like I went out, and I woke up, and when I awakened, it was 2:57 in the morning, and I usually set my alarm to go to work at 3 o'clock in the morning because I work for a bus company selling bus tickets, so I get up early Monday through Friday.
Okay.
But that particular evening, I hadn't set the alarm yet, obviously, go to bed yet. But I'm looking around my room here, and I was like, foggy and wondering where I was at, trying to gather my thoughts. I looked over at the alarm clock, and it was 2:57 a.m.
Okay.
So what actually happened between that time, which would have been around 9:15 p.m. to 2:57 a.m., not really sure of, but as I was looking around and trying to gather my thoughts and whatnot, I was experiencing an intense pain on my right forearm, and lo and behold, when I looked down at my arm, there was a tattoo there of an alien, depicting an alien gray.
Okay.
And that just kind of slipped me out.
So the tattoo wasn't there
I know
before.
It sounds crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't for quite some time, but I decided, well, instead of holding it in, I'm just going to tell the story of what happened,
So that tattoo wasn't there before you lost consciousness at that time?
Oh.
Wow. So, what was the picture of the tattoo again?
The tattoo is a depiction of, it looks like an alien gray, and it's got space above it with stars.
So is that like a tagging? Is that saying sort of like you've been tagged or something like that?
Like a symbol?
Yeah, like marked or tagged or whatever. And an interesting thing about this particular tattoo is that it didn't heal in a conventional tattoo manner. I have other tattoos that I've got through the years, and they scab up like a scraping or abrasion.
Okay.
And they heal that in that pattern. Now, this particular one here felt more like a burning sensation. And when it healed, it bubbled up, it blistered up, and when it healed, it peeled like a sunburn.
Oh, wow.
And that's it. It never scabbed, and it healed within 3 days.
Oh, that's crazy. So when you told your story, did people believe you, or did they think you were
no,
crazy?
I expect that most people don't know. I have to be realistic about it. If I was to hear the story
that this happened, you'd probably like, all right, you're crazy. Something's not right
exactly,
with you.
Exactly. Well, that's why I held it in for as long as I did. But then it works on you. You know what I mean? It kind of eats at you.
Wow. So, what if do you have another case of someone being abducted and not really?
Well, there's cases out there. There's also terrific researchers like Richard Dolan or Linda Moulton Howe, Dr. Richard Greer. Them guys have been researching this for years. But my own personal experience, I've checked out other abductions like on September 19th, 1953.
Oh, wow.
And I kind of get bits and pieces, and you just can't remember. I said before, when I got flashbacks when I was a kid.
Right, exactly.
But
Well,
yeah.
I mean, for
Now that's something on the tip of your tongue, Bonnie Hill. I believe that to be an authentic case and not a hoax.
right. So
For
there
the
are
simple
hoaxes out
reason.
there.
But
Well, I mean, for
now that's it. Now the case of Betty and Bonnie Hill, I believe that to be an authentic case and not a hoax.
so there
For the
are
simple
hoaxes out
reason.
there.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So they're out there.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there are. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that every claim is the
There
real
are
thing,
some,
but
of
through
course.
through my research, the reason why I see Betty and Bonnie Hill being legit is that happened, like I said, the early '60s. So, I mean, and they were an interracial married couple.
Oh
They
wow.
were people of good character. So, in the early '60s, the last thing any interracial married couple would want to do is bring unwanted or unnecessary attention upon themselves.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes complete sense. Like, I mean, so they had no reason really to bring,
Right.
especially news like this. Like, I mean, and during that time, no things like this.
Exactly. And like I said, they were people of good character. She was, I believe, she was the head of Child and Family Services, and he worked for the post office. He was worked for the Postal Service.
So, in your research, this is a question that comes from an Instagram user. His name is ICTRL. Basically, he wants to know: are there aliens that are walking among us, like right now?
I believe there are. Yes, I believe that. Personally, I believe that we are all alien hybrids. We all have alien DNA.
You know what's interesting that you say that, Jim? I've been saying that for so long that I've completely believed that. And that was actually his other question he wanted to ask too, because there are several people that believe that we are alien hybrids. You know,
We are. Well, my
uh,
belief is that the humans were created by the aliens through artificial insemination between themselves and the
right.
great ape species.
Right. You know what's interesting? So a few years, well, not maybe about 5+ years back, I had a friend of mine, and I went to talk to him, and we were talking about something different, and we were talking about aliens, and he said, would it freak you out if I told you that we were aliens? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, we're aliens, like humans are aliens. And it made me started thinking about it. So I firmly believe, and I've been saying that we are an alien species.
We are, yeah, we are an alien species. It's an ongoing experiment,
Right.
and then you've got the concept of evolution. But now we got to ask ourselves what happened to all the missing links in between, or the ones that have disappeared, from primitive man to where we are today.
Right.
And yet we're still sharing. Modern man is still sharing the world with apes, with the great apes that have been around for millions of years. So
Right.
how come the apes are still here, man is still here, but all the other links in between have vanished?
Right.
And my theory on that is that each phase of the links were prototypes of the experiment that didn't live up to the expectations of the extraterrestrials, and they were terminated.
Well,
We're the latest version.
Well, no, I'm following that, and I mean, you can even look at ancient, like writings and carvings on a wall of ships, thousands of years ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, where would they get the concept of anything, any type of flying apparatus?
Right, exactly.
Unless they observed it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, obviously, since we are, do you think that our government has basically an alien species, not us, but that is working within the government?
Oh yes. Yeah, there's one known case of an alien known as Valiant 4,
Okay.
which has been working with the U.S. government for quite some time. Who also has a lifespan, who knows how many years, but I believe they claim he's been around for like 150 years or something like that.
Okay. So
I have a question.
Go ahead, Nelly.
Are there different types of aliens, or
Yeah, like
do they
There's
look a certain
different
way?
species. Like there's different species here on Earth. I mean, there's numerous species. I wouldn't claim to know exactly how many different species there are, but I'm sure there are quite a few.
Because I know you've got the. I mean,
Are
Well, you
those
got-
fictionals like the Greys and the reptile people? Because I see
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah, you got
conspiracy
the
on that.
reptilians, you got the grays, you got the short grays, the tall grays.
yeah, I've
I mean,
definitely.
there's many that we probably don't even know about.
Oh yeah, I mean, I always say this world is so vast that it hasn't even been fully explored. You know, to even see a lot of things that are living under the surface or beneath the oceans
Or beneath the surface.
right,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
exactly, beneath the
there's
surface.
species in this world that we haven't even discovered yet.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. So So this is an interesting one. So the Malaysia flight, I have this theory. Malaysia flight 370.
That's interesting.
I don't know if you recall that flight. The flight was
Yes,
sort of
yeah,
just,
the disappearance of that flight. Yeah.
right. So give me your thought process on that because I have my own thoughts, but give me your opinion on that one.
Well, it could be alien related. I mean, that thought crossed my mind. With all the technology we have today, where we can't find any evidence of any debris or clue of what happened to the airliner, I mean, we have to wonder really what did happen.
Right. And that's my thing because they found no wreckage. They found no wreckage of anything. They found no bodies. They didn't find and they searched 20,000 square miles of ocean.
Exactly. And like I say, with all the technology, I mean, how can you not find something?
And that's the
true.
thing, because with the plane being made of fiberglass floats to the top. Anytime any other plane is crashing in the water, they found it with no problem. With no
Exactly.
problem. So I just found it very interesting that this one just disappeared off the radar screen.
Yeah, well,
No mayday
there's been
call.
a lot of that. There's been a lot of that too throughout history. Regarding the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh
Right.
my God! I'm so
Yeah,
glad
I'm
that you
glad
brought
you
that
brought
up because
that
I was
up.
gonna ask that.
Go ahead, Nelly.
Bermuda
Yeah,
Triangle.
what is that?
What is the Bermuda?
Triangle?
So,
Please.
so what's the Bermuda Triangle? Is the question, Jim?
Well, Bermuda Triangle is an area where there's like paranormal phenomenon that occurs every now and then. There's been missing aircraft, like fighter jets, missing ships, and stuff like that. It's
Is it
in an area of
alien-related?
the Atlantic Ocean.
Is it like a portal to like?
Yeah, like,
Yeah, like a
Worlds.
portal type area. Yeah.
Is like crop circles still? Is that for messaging or what? What are crop
And
circles?
is that still a thing? Like,
Yeah.
they still do that.
I heard the Greys do it.
So the crop circles. She wants to know about the
Yeah.
crop circles.
Yeah, crop circles. I believe that's alien related. I mean, I don't understand how anyone could put a huge crop circle there that quickly without being seen at night.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
Nothing being disturbed around the area where the crop circle design is itself. So,
And you know what? Just to go back to the Bermuda Triangle, I remember a story of a pilot was saying that when he flew over that, all of his instruments went haywire, and he had no control over his plane. And next thing he knows, that the plane is going down, he blacks out, and next thing you know, he wakes up and he's in the water. So his plane is went in the water, and he's panicking in some kind of way. He winds up on this, but he survived. And I've heard several stories about that with the Bermuda Triangle. So
So is it like a black hole?
Is it a black hole? Yeah, like is it what?
yeah, well, it's like a portal type area where, I mean, yes. As a matter of fact, my aunt went to Puerto Rico, flew from the United States to Puerto Rico one time, and she said it was a night flight, and for about maybe 20 minutes to half an hour, I mean, the plane was flying all right, but all the lights went out on the plane. It was total darkness on the plane.
That's
Wow.
a nightmare. I would have been scared.
I would have been scared
Really?
as crap. But so
So what is it? Is it like clouds over it? Like what does it look
It may
like?
be an
swirl
invisible
in the
field.
ground? Maybe it's like we can't see it, like it's invisible.
yeah, maybe like an invisible. It may be like an energy.
Yeah.
It's an energy.
Yeah, oh yeah, everything. I believe everything is based on energy. I believe there's a universal energy which makes all things possible. I refer to that as the source.
Right. So, I remember hearing something about, obviously the biggest case in the United States is the Roswell incident. And before that, humans, we had, the technology we had. It was basic. But after that, our technology seemed to shoot and fast forward gear. So
Yeah, what they did was reverse engineered the technology.
so the technology from the ship was reverse engineered.
Right.
And you know, I've thought that and I've heard that because again, when you look at it, before that we were, you know, on just a regular slow pattern, slow trail. But after that, you know, you get computers, you get cell phones, you get all this stuff right after that incident.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, look at medically. I mean, now we can clone. I mean, they're doing things that, you know. I've always said that if man doesn't destroy himself prematurely, he'll one day become the god that he so long believed in.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So speaking of the Roswell, why did the government basically try so hard to hide it from the people, from the public?
Well, I think they would like to use the term that they don't want to cause any havoc or fear or something like that. But the main reason is that they never tell the truth to the people. They make us second guess everything. They throw enough of the truth in there just to make you wonder and not give you the whole schmeal, if you will. But the reason for that is they keep everything from us. I mean, why does the government do what the government does? I mean, you know, don't get me started like with 911 and stuff like that.
Right.
We'd be on here all night. But.
Yeah. So, Chris, you had a question.
So I wanted to go kind of back to you being abducted. Like, do you think it's like a certain reason why you were abducted, or like is there like a certain criteria you have to meet in order to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
For the
Or
aliens.
maybe he was like
You-
raptured or something.
I was having a hard time hearing that. I'm sorry
So-
I didn't get
no,
that.
that's cool. But the question was, he went back to your abduction. He was saying, how were you? You know, why are certain people chosen for abductions and other people aren't?
That I have no idea. I have no clue as to why that is. But I mean, I've always had that feeling, and then, you know, lo and behold, then that incident took place. So why that is, I couldn't answer that question.
Right, because I've actually thought that myself, because, and obviously that's not something we would know because you'd have to be privy to actually meeting the aliens and know what's going on.
Right.
But I've thought that too. Like, what is the criteria? Like, why
You
are
have to
certain
be
people
special.
I guess you do have to be special.
So, Chris, Keon, y'all, us, we're not special.
we're not
You know-
special.
Oh, I don't want to get abducted. I'm asking like what it is.
What the prerequisites are.
Yeah,
Right,
like, what's your SAT
what is the
score?
prerequisite for being abducted? Right. So that, I mean, and obviously, Jim, you know, this subject, you know, obviously, you know, to I won't say most of the world, but a lot of the world, it's like, what the hell? Like, what are you talking about? You know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, they don't believe it, but I mean, they're there. There's no doubt in my mind.
You know, I'll give my own personal experience, and like I told them before, and I won't go to the whole story, but I've actually seen UFOs over, you know, the sky before, and I firmly believe factually that they were. And then our producer here, Chris,
tell him
actually saw a UFO as well.
I just saw some like.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's been.
No, you said it so confident the last time.
You should tell him.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, there's been millions of sightings. I mean, throughout history, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely is. You want to, Chris, or you good?
Okay, so like I saw a beam of light in the sky, but it was like way in the sky, and it was like by itself. And I seen stars, but it was just like a weird light. It didn't have a shape, and I saw it, and it flew a little bit in the sky. It didn't just fell into like the forest or whatever. So what do you think that was?
A heart attack. Chris, you
Well,
having
you
a
know,
heart attack.
you mentioned you mentioned the forest. Another abduction I firmly believe is legit is the Travis Walton abduction.
Okay, tell us
You know,
about that one.
you ever see that movie there, Fire in the Sky?
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
hmm Yeah, I believe that's legit as well. I mean, there was 6 crew members that witnessed it. They all passed polygraph exams. So
Is that the one where the guy he went missing for like a few weeks or so, or some days?
yeah, I think like 4 or 5 days. I believe it happened in November of 1975, if I remember correctly.
Right, and he came back not really, and everybody's like, "Hey, man, where have you been?" And he didn't know of anything. He thought it was the same day.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, everybody back then And probably many now think that was a hoax, but I believe it was legit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the things, man, people will count as hoax. You know, and you can't, like you say, you can't necessarily blame people because
Oh no,
you know,
and I don't. I expect that. I mean, I'm sure the majority is saying, this guy's off the wall, but hey, it is what it is.
right. I mean, anytime I honestly, anytime I talk to somebody about it, I always give them the prerequisite that hey, I'm about to take it far left and weird you out just a little bit. So you might think I'm crazy, but I always give them that. That I always preface it by saying that. So because I do understand that people will think that people are a little wacko from doing that. So since that alien abduction, have you experienced any other activity?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Well, I've seen them. I mean, I live actually near an area known as the Bridgewater Triangle. I live in Massachusetts, and it's part of that Bridgewater Triangle is the Freetown State Forest.
Okay.
And there's a lot of paranormal activity, UFO sightings in that area, which I've seen myself. And as a matter of fact, there was orbs of light seen rising up in an area called the Ledge, which is in Berkeley, Massachusetts, which is part of the Freetown State Forest in that Bridgewater Triangle.
Okay.
That actually cloaked the Air Force One with President Reagan on board, and that was through a Fox News story. I can send you that link if you're interested in seeing that.
Yeah, please send me that. Send me that link.
But and then they dispatched two fighter jets off of the Cape Cod Air Force Base, and when they caught up with Air Force One, the orbs of light took off at an incredible speed.
Wow. Yeah, that. Please send me that link because I would definitely like to see that.
I live in Acushnet, Massachusetts, which is about maybe 7 miles from the Bridgewater Triangle.
That's interesting. Interesting, Chris.
So are like the military bases and stuff? Is that associated with like paranormal activity and UFO sightings and stuff like that? Because we have a military base like in our like close to like where we live or whatever, and it was close to where I seen the little sighting or whatever. So I was trying to see if it was like a connection between the two.
Yeah, there's been numerous reports of incidents like that, where they'll dispatch, fighter jets to check out unidentified flying objects,
Yeah, and I think
especially in that case, I mean, with Air Force One,
Yeah, and I mean, there's been stories that have been told that that they've disabled the nuclear capabilities.
Yes, and I was going to mention that. Yeah, matter of fact, I can send you another link on that subject. Larry King Live, which is a pretty reputable media outlet.
Right.
He had 5 military officers on there one time. There, I can send you the link to that video, and they claim that when UFOs were seen hovering over nuclear silos at the military bases, that they had the technology to cut the power to the nuclear weaponry, and it would take them over 24 hours to reboot it. So, I mean, in a case like that, and that's not only here in the U.S., that's happened, at military bases worldwide.
Wow.
So my take on that is, nobody can argue with the fact that man is on a course of self-destruction. So my take on that is that the aliens are doing dry runs and doing their homework, and that their intent is to intervene to save man from man himself.
Right. And I've thought the same thing, that they're like, hey, we gotta save them from themselves. So, Jim, so you are the founder of the Alien Connection Truth Network. You have currently over 100,000 members.
That's correct. Yeah, that's on Facebook. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So if you want to know more, man, if you want to talk to Jim more, definitely go to Facebook to the Alien Connection Truth Network and join the group. I'm actually a part of the group, and I'll be looking for that link too, Jim.
Yeah, I'm going to send you a couple of links. I'm going to send you the Larry King Live video and the Bridgewater Triangle video.
Well, Jim, man, I really appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you so much for talking to us about this. It's one of those subjects, man, that people sometimes want to talk about, don't want to talk about. But I think it's pretty interesting, man. So thank you.
Yeah, it was my pleasure for being here, and thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. Very interesting information, man.
It was
Really.
a hoot. It was very intriguing.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely, man. Is there any? Do you have any books or anything you wanna plug while you're on here?
Well, I dabbled with a couple of them, but I got one that's actually in the works right now that I'm going to take my time with, and probably be a little while before it comes out or anything. But I'm not really looking for attention or anything like that. I just want to get the truth out there. That's my main concern.
Well, I definitely appreciate them. We appreciate you being on the Only Show, Jim. So, man, thank you again, man. You have a great day, brother.
And you too. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.